Hello, this is Tola from Trifold Productions with another Blender Quickie for beginners. And this is to address a subscriber's request from Mateo. He said, hello, this is Mateo, the guy who commented under your last video. I'm writing this email because I would like to have an updated tutorial on how to tear clothes in Blender. If you can please show me how to tear clothes on a body, like a shirt, for example, since it's what I'm trying to do or go for. Now, I did a tutorial on how to accomplish that with Blender's tools. I've also done a tutorial on this add-on here called the Cloth FX add-on. I'm scrolling down to it right now. This is more direct. It's a lot easier to use because it has all the tools in one place. One place. Now, the add-on isn't free. You have to pay for it. But for what it can do, it's worth the price. Now I've downloaded this model so we can use this model as an example. And remember to have your model animated. If you want the model to run or to jump or do any kind of action, make sure you've already animated your model before you apply the add-on or any kind of cloth simulation in Blender in general. That way Blender won't be confused. And we're going to separate the shirt of the model from the body. So I have my model selected. I'm going to press Tab on my keyboard. Left click on a vertex, press Control L, and it'll select everything. Press P and selection. And now it's separated. So the body is separate from the shirt. And we're going to, I'm going to apply the transforms because I shrunk this down. So I'm going to hold down Shift, left click, then press Control A, apply all transforms. That's a good practice just in general in Blender. Whenever you're working with models that you've scaled or you've rotated, so on and so forth, you want to apply any kind of simulation to them, it's better to apply all those transforms to set everything back to 0 for the model. That way it doesn't confuse Blender. So that's some good tips there. But I've got my shirt selected. I'm going to press Custom on my keyboard here, on the add-on actually. Left click on Custom, and then it creates a bounding box. Left click and drag so we can reposition our window here, but it creates a bounding box around that shirt, which is good. So even if the character is moving around, the bounding box where the simulation happens will move with the character's clothing. That way it won't get lost at all. But once we've done that, it gives us all these settings that we can go through, and it's step-by-step process. Click on the pen tool, this pen tool first, left click on that, and it gives us instructions, as I've mentioned before in a prior video for this tutorial. It gives us instructions on how to use the pen. So it's the left mouse button to start drawing, space to confirm, and ESC to exit the drawing. Scroll on the mouse, we want the bullet to hit here. I'm gonna left click and drag, space, that's to confirm that, left click and drag, space, left click and drag, space, and one more, left click and drag, space. And press ESC on my keyboard to get out of that mode. The next thing we want to do is click on pinning. So left click on that. And we're going to stay in edge select mode. Hold down Alt to select a set of edges. And left click on that cuff of the shirt. Now hold on Alt and Shift to select more edges on the edge. Left click and drag, or left click to select that set of vertices or edges. Same thing with the collar of the shirt. I'm going to scroll up on my mouse wheel. Hold on Alt Shift again and left click there. So now that all those areas have been pinned. That way when the simulation happens, we won't have so much action around the cuffs of the shirt and the collar and the bottom of the shirt. That'll stay in place. The cloth simulation will be applied to the whole thing, but those areas that have been pinned will be more stable. And it says, then press the Tab key to confirm your selections. Press Tab on our keyboard again. And we're going to add a projectile to our scene here. But before we do that, like I always say in Blender, once you do any changes in Blender, it's always good to save. Because sometimes if Blender crashes, it doesn't do it as much as it used to, but it's just safer to save as you go. That way you don't lose your work. So click on File and Save. And now we're going to create our projectile turn our model around here, press Shift in our keyboard, and go up to Mesh, and then we're going to select UV sphere. You can pretend you can model whatever you want to model. It could be a bullet or a rock. I'm using the UV sphere myself just to make it a little bit faster when it comes to the tutorial. You have to keep in mind that when you model anything in Blender, when it comes to rendering it out, the more dense the model, the more items in your scene, the longer it'll take to render out. So I'm going to keep it as simple as possible. Left click and drag on the Z axis. I'm going to scale this down to S. Now for myself, I'm going to press 1 on my keyboard, but I'm having the projectile placed over the area where it's going to pass through the shirt. Now you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can have it coming from the bottom, the top, the side, but for myself, just for simplicity, keeping it in front. 1 again on my keyboard. I'm going to press S again to scroll this down, just to kind of fit the size of that hole that we have here. And then with that object selected, click on Make Collider. And because we don't want the shirt to pass through our model here, left click on our model and then Make Collider. Now we're going to animate this sphere, and I'm rotating hold down my middle mouse button and moving my mouse around. We're going to have this sphere go through the clothing, his shirt, and come out the back. And for the sake of realism, you can also have tears in the back for where the exit of the projectile is going to happen. But for the sake of the tutorial, I'm just doing it in the front only. I'm going to left click and drag with my arrow. My arrow turns to a double head arrow. Left click and drag to pull up our timeline here. I'm going to click on my Auto King feature in Blender. Left click on that and click on my sphere there. We're going to click on the Z axis to create a keyframe. Go down to 30. And don't be concerned, it's an alarm on my phone, but don't be concerned if your model does this, because it's simulating cloth in Blender. It tends to do that. Every time you do a cloth simulation and you press play or you go down on your timeline, the mesh that is the cloth tends to kind of explode with, cloth action, so to speak. So don't be bothered by this. But I'm going to pull my model of my sphere through him on the y-axis. Left click and drag on the y-axis, and that's our king right there. So I'm going to go back to the beginning, turn off our auto king, and we're going to end the simulation at 30 on our timeline. So I end there, left click there, type in 30, press enter, and then let's press play and see what happens. And there we go. That's the hole. And that's how you can create a hole in clothing using the Cloth FX 4 add-on. You can do the same thing using Blender's native tools, but you have to do a lot of looking around and so on and so forth. But the Cloth FX 4 add-on, it condenses all your tools in one place. Then after you've done the simulation, you left click on that and go down to the baking, go back to the beginning, and click on Animate, and it gives us the option for how long we want the animation to start and end. Our end frame is at 30, so left click in there, type in 30, enter. And another key thing is always have a folder ready when it comes to the simulation, because what it's going to do is it's going to store the simulation inside the folder that you created your add-on or your model in. So always have a separate folder to store all your content for the animation of your cloth simulation. And so I'm going to click on bake, and then when that's done, it's already baked into the cloth. You press play again. There you go. So yeah, that's how to do. You can also export the bake also, and it exports it as an Alembic file. I don't know why, but just have that in mind. It exports as Alembic, which is still the same, gives you the same texture, the same cloth simulation, so on and so forth. And before you actually bake it, You can also make adjustments in terms of the quality, because right now the quality is kind of low, so it looks kind of jagged. You can increase the quality, increase the seed, and so on and so forth. Play with these parameters to get the look that you want. After you've gotten the look that you want by, changing these parameters, then you can bake it, and then you've got your animation set up. So that's how you can put a hole in clothing in Blender. Fairly easy by using the Cloth FX4 add-on. And Mateo, I hope this was helpful for you. Let me know if this helps you or not. But yeah, it was fun doing this tutorial to help you out with the assimilation. And I hope you've learned from it. And I hope those of you who have watched have learned also from it. And remember to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, adios.